Hi, it's Nathan here coming to you from Kuta, and I apologize for the lighting. I can actually get better lighting on my face, but I really want you guys to be able to see that over there. Today we're talking about permit to work systems. Permit to work systems are basically a checklist that workers can follow to make sure they're doing a task safely. And it's a permit which is kind of issued by a permit issuer, which will normally be like some big sites will have a technical like permit issuer person. Generally on smaller sites, it'll just be either a safety person or a supervisor. So the five most common types are confined space entry permits, hot works permits, excavation permits, working at heights permits, and penetration permits. The only one that's explicitly legally required under the regulations is confined space entry permit. It says if you're doing confined space entry work, you need to have a permit for that. Working at heights permits are mentioned in the code, but it says that that these administrative controls like working at heights permits may be useful, so not explicitly required. Hot works permits are mentioned in the welding processes code of practice, but where they're mentioned is in the section for hazardous or flammable atmospheres. So it's unclear to me anyway whether they're actually legally required in general. I don't believe so. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them. If you want hot works permits, go for it. And then excavation permits, not legally required, but can be helpful, and the same with penetration permits. So typically they are we have some free ones on our website if you want to go and look at them or download them. We try to keep them to a one-pager, but some of the longer ones go over to 2 pages, or even some companies will have them be in multiple pages. And it's basically where you fill out the work party details, the scope of the task, what's being done, and then it'll have all the checks that need to be done. So let's say for a confined space entry permit, you'll have we done our gas testing? Do we have a rescue plan? Do we have safe access and egress? Do we have a safe communication method? Is everyone trained and competent? And then the work crew will make sure all that's ready, and the permit holder is the person who fills that permit out. They're the person who has issued the permit, and then they will go to talk to the permit issuer, who will normally be the supervisor or the safety person, and the permit issuer will go through all those controls and physically check that all of those controls are in place, and they'll say, yes, okay, you're ready to do this task now. They'll sign it off. Now the permit's open. They can go, the work crew, led by the permit holder, can go and do that task. Once it's finished, they go back to the permit issuer, sign it out. As part of the sign out for works like for hot works, part of the sign out will be a post-work fire watch, just to make sure for a certain period of time, let's say 30 minutes after work finishes, that we keep an eye on it, make sure a fire doesn't start after we finish. For confined space work, to close it out, there'll be you'll need to sign off the entry log. Yes, make sure everyone's come out of the confined space. So yeah, hope that helps, and see you next time.